Dang, dang, dang. Dang, dang, dang. Dang, dang, dang. Dang, dang, dang. All right, gang. That was the theme to Lone Wolf as well as Cub here on the franchise After Dark. I'm your host, The Deep Pain. That's right, The Deep Pain. I'm currently going through a bad breakup. All right?
Yeah.
I want to say, if that girl is listening, shut this off. You don't get to hear my mellifluous tones anymore. Fuck off. I want to say to the female and female identifying listeners and non-binds out there, slide into those DMs at Low Stakes Daniel.
No grass growing under these Shogun feet. I'll tell you that. Those double-toed ninja socks.
That's right, baby. So
we are moving on to the Japanese climates that we encounter in all Lone Cub. Although we've been kind of in the same climate for these last couple movies. Haven't seen any snow recently.
That's a great point. You're right. I feel like the second movie was the only one that really did a lot of experimentation with topography.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome to episode 192 of the franchise. I'm your host, Go Kato Henry, and it's nice to have you all here.
What was that a reference to? Go Kato.
That'll come up soon.
Oh.
But I'll tell you anyway.
Was it Kalen?
Go Kato Kalen, Henry?
Yeah.
No. It's the actor who plays the character that is my MVP of this movie, the first one that we're covering.
Oh, well, let's talk about it. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart to Hades.
That's right.
I want to remind everybody that this franchise was brought to us by the great John Evan Bear, franchise patron. And if you want to suggest a franchise, that's $100, please. Or $50 for something that's currently in theaters.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say we've got another one lined up for after Lone Wolf and Cub. One of you listeners suggested. So why don't you other listeners fucking keep it going? Patreon.com/thefranchise. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart to Hades was brought to us by new director Kenji Misumi. No, that's not new director. He's third of the series.
That's right.
And writer Kazuo Koike, creator or co-creator of the manga that this is based on, and also writing these movies.
That's right.
It was released September 2nd, 1972 in Japan. I'll remind everybody that Lone Wolf and Cub films also came out in January and April of that year.
Yeah.
So this is the third Lone Wolf and Cub in just 9 months.
And I feel like, I don't know this for sure, but I have a venture that this wasn't one of those things where, like Avengers, where they were actually making them all at the same time. They really don't. I really get the impression these were made as separate entities. Would I be correct, you think?
I would think so. These seem like distinct films to me with distinct sets of problems and villains. And, it's not... When I saw that there were like 4 movies come out in the same year in the same franchise, I was like, I thought it was going to be like, remember they did Wake Up Ron Burgundy, the sequel to Anchorman that was just like cut scenes from the first Anchorman?
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like that. But no, this seems like 4 movies.
Yeah, they're definitely...
It's actually really impressive, and they're real movies. They're not super cheap looking. They have like fully thought out plots with beginning, middles, and ends.
Yes, they
Great
do.
action, and we're having a fun time.
Well, we are, and as you recall, the first 2 movies
could use a little more diversity, Henry. I have not come across any blacks or whites.
I didn't think about that. I guess given
these are woke times, Henry, and these films do not have the diversity I crave.
Yeah, yeah, they are homogenous to the Japanese lands of the centuries that they take place in, which we'll get to. I was able to discern some time frames here due to my own, brilliant knowledge of the samurai period.
Henry is a deductive artist.
I try to do some deducing and some deducting as well. I will say right off the bat, the first two movies, Dan had given a 3 and then a 4. So they had gone up incrementally. I had given a 2 and a 3. And as you recall in the first one, I was borderline 3. I'm going to say right off the bat, tonight we are reviewing, there's 2 of them. One of them is the best one that I've encountered yet.
I disagree.
Okay.
I don't believe that this franchise has yet topped Baby Cart at the River Styx.
Oh, well, I do. I do big time. Big time. I was quite happy with one of these films. I'm happy.
Interested to hear which one.
Yeah.
Well, let us travel back to that most mysterious of continents, Henry. And, hey, and a great night for them last night. Parasite, South Korea, winning the first ever foreign language Best Picture at the Oscars. The stars were out, and yet they still gave all the awards to a bunch of South Koreans.
Yeah, wait, we got screenplay, foreign film.
Not foreign film, international film. We changed it.
That's right. International film, director, picture. How awesome is
screenplay?
Is that?
Did they win screenplay? Yeah.
How awesome is that fucking director? I love that fucking
director. Bong.
Every speech he gave was just funny and humble and charming. I love it. It's just like totally real guy. You don't see that much these days.
That guy fucking rules, Bong Joon-ho, and I'm a big fan. And now I've got to go see Mother. That's the only one of his movies I've never seen.
I mean, I guess I should see it too. Should I rewatch The Host? Didn't I say on one of our shows I'd never watch that again?
Did you ever see Memories of Murder?
No.
Watch that.
Yeah.
That's great. You saw Snowpiercer, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
I like that.
Watch Memories of Murder, and you'll enjoy that.
Memories of Murder. All right, yeah.
So it's a Zodiac-y investigation, but it's got more jokes.
More jokes. Okay. Yeah. We gave what'd they give? They give JoJo an award there.
Screenplay.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I saw it. It was okay. I think 60% of the things it did right.
60.
Yeah. It was ambitious. They were trying a lot.
Yeah. I really don't foresee myself seeing that movie, to be perfectly honest.
You're a Taika Waititi fan now.
I don't know that I am that much. I was looking at his filmography last night. And
the only thing you've seen is Thor Ragnarok.
And Flight of the Conchords, and I was never that nuts on that.
He's not like the creative force behind Flight of the Conchords. He's directed some episodes.
I mean, I like Thor Ragnarok, but the whole JoJo, it really looks to me very, very cutesy.
This is the most twee of his movies since Eagle versus Shark, which I liked more. And
you know how I do with twee. I don't do well with twee.
You don't. You don't, Henry.
I don't. Wes Anderson. I can't do the twee. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, you're twee.
Do you have is something wrong? Is something in your mouth? So twee?
Just my tongue.
Yeah. Okay. You all right. All right.
H-Dog, Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart to Hades. Big news. The baby now has a hat.
Baby now has a hat.
Yep.
Baby needs a new pair of shoes. Baby's doing pretty well. I don't know what to say. Same kid, or we're picking different kids?
No. This is the same kid. Same kid.
We're aging too much. He couldn't even walk in the first one. It's the same year, 1972.
Are you fucking crazy? He could walk in the first one.
He's a fucking little. Yeah, I guess you're right.
He's like 3.
All right.
Kids age a lot when they're that old, man. Like, this is 9 months in a kid's life. He got better at walking. What do you want?
Got better at operating the Batmobile too. That was pretty. He's knowing all those switches and panels. He's hitting them now.
I know this baby cart. It really is getting insane. It's like in Batman Returns when it like sheds its outer layer so that it can go down an alley.
This is like the worst Bond car in the history of the Bond movies with Pierce Brosnan and Die Another Day when they
The invisible car.
Yeah, dude. It's like I'm like, wow, what's going on? But it did give me this
Oh,
movie.
Henry, I'm still waiting for that Jinx spin-off. Can we please get the Jinx spin-off?
Halle Berry.
She was my favorite James Bond character, Jinx.
Jinx.
Bring back Jinx.
Dude,
You can pair her up with Jinx, that cat from Meet the Parents. What a great time it was to be a Jinx.
Or Binks from Hocus Pocus.
Is that a thing?
Yeah. I think so.
You can make a Hocus Pocus reference off the top of your head?
Only because my cat Bins was originally named Binks.
After Hocus Pocus?
Someone told me, a lady told me that Binks is the cat in Hocus Pocus.
Oh my God!
Every girl I've ever met in my life loves Hocus Pocus.
That's a movie that girls growing up liked.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Now they revisit it at Halloween.
Yeah. I'm never going to be able to see it, but it's
I saw it as a kid, and I was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah. I'm not interested.
Maybe it's better grown up. Listeners, get back to me. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I'm not doing Twitter. Leave me alone.
Sure.
But you can reach me at Pod Franchise, the Twitter. I'll respond to tweets. Let me know if I should rewatch Hocus Pocus.
Key stuff there. You really not on Twitter? Or are you just taking a break?
I'm not looking at Twitter.
Too infuriating, right?
Yeah, I can't take it.
Yeah.
You're all so fucking annoying.
Maybe it'll bring your blood pressure down, Maybe
That's the hope. That's the hope, Henry. I could certainly use that.
Yeah, you don't need any more indignation in your life. It's okay. Yeah.
All right. So they're still being followed by the Yagyu, and they're still taking missions and encountering many rapes. So this third one, is this the one that starts with sort of, it's got like a cold open? It starts like in media res.
Oof, it's really hard to keep these openings in my head.
No, it's like they're hanging out with this prostitute. And
they're on a riverboat. That's
yes, no, exactly. But then it's like we cut and we don't get back to them for a while, and I think we go back in time a little bit, and we're dealing with that one dude who's like a mercenary and who's hanging out with all those other mercenaries.
Yes.
These bros are all like talking to the new mercenary, and they're like, "Bro, best part about being a mercenary, rapes. It is so much fucking fun. We hang out here. We watch this dirt path, and then the second a lady comes by, we'll fucking rape her. It'll be great." And then what happens is, once you violently rape them and you leave them on the ground in a pile of their own blood and your cum, you then just pick your pants up and run away.
Yeah.
So that they can't find you.
There is a detailed conversation, really quite pedestrian, not far from what Dan is describing. I mean, they really go through this very weird sort of extremely motion by motion part of what they enjoy.
I wrote down one quote where they're talking about why the rape is actually good for the woman. Where
for this,
he says, we don't steal anything from them, Henry.
No,
we don't take anything. We're just gonna use them. And using them because they're being fucked by an amazing samurai mercenary like myself makes them better. It's like charity.
Yeah, it's essentially to them.
I'm charitably forcing my hard dick into their tightening up dry pussy.
All right. It's Dan Unhinged tonight, everybody. Thank you. Except the one guy, the more stoic.
Well, he's the new mercenary, and he's like, I don't think I'm on board with this.
I am not a fan, guys. That is Kanbei. And,
right. Kanbei, his name is?
Yes.
So what happens is two ladies, one of them with black teeth.
Very strange touch. Yeah.
I was like, I don't think I could rape this woman.
I thought that would like come into play somehow, the black teeth, but
they never bring it up. Was that like a thing in ancient times? Some women just had black teeth?
I'm sure a lot of people, period, had black teeth. I think maybe he was just adding a little...
And was that the mom of the other girl?
I hope not.
I think it was implied.
I hope not. It did kind of seem like that, but I was kind of willing it not to be so.
Right, so it's two women and a dude. And they come by and they hit the dude in the head with a stick. Yeah. And he gets knocked out.
He's down for the count.
He's down for the count for sure. Yeah. He does wake up sooner than they intended.
Great protector, this guy.
Great. Yeah. So they obviously go and rape the women.
Yeah, this happened.
But the mercenary, the new mercenary, who's not okay with it, he comes by and he's like, listen, I think I gotta kill you guys.
Yeah. Well, first he kills them. He kills the women.
Oh, yeah, because it's like they're raped now.
Well, I think he says something like, if this gets back to this clan that you guys are just, behaving this way, this will be bad for everybody, so I need to do this. He does that, then he draws straws or grass for the other three. It's like, nah, I have to kill you too. And so he kills the one guy, and then Lone Wolf comes along. He's
pushing his cart. He's having a leisurely day at this point.
Yeah, which is the last time we're going to see him having anything leisurely.
Yeah.
And, so he sees
he sparks up a real bromance with this guy.
He does.
He sees him kill the raped women and the men, the rapists, and he's like, listen, I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. And I kind of liked this bromance because, he doesn't really allow himself, Lone Wolf, any sort of friends. And I kind of thought it was kind of cool.
He does, though. He allows himself friends, and every time he makes friends with someone, he then has to say, like, go away.
Well, true, but
we mustn't be friends.
No, it's true. But I liked, I don't know, I liked how this was done. So, spoiler alert, I thought this was the best film. And one of the reasons I did was because I feel like Kenji Mizumi was like at the apex of
this. He was like, this is my third and last of these movies. I'm going to like really go for it in the third act.
Well, it just really comes, like everything in this movie to me works. Like, I really like the story. I thought it looked the best.
Can I tell you something?
I don't. Hold on. Let me finish.
Can I just? I have to say this. I have to get this off my chest. Right, this is my least favorite of the Lone Wolf and Cub movies.
Is that right?
Yeah. So now go ahead.
Oh, okay. See, I wrote some of this stuff. My praises. I love the story. I thought the cinematography was beautiful. I don't know if it was the restoration, but it certainly looked better than the other two. I loved the music. We're really getting into that 70s fucking like Jim Jam shit.
A lot of hand drums.
Oh my God, we're like Lalo Schifrin territory here. I liked the villains. I love the fights. It reminded me a little bit of a Bond film in a certain way, which is maybe why I liked it so much. I love the camera work. I think it's perfectly paced, and I just think it nails it, man.
I thought it was poorly paced.
Really, for 90 minutes, I felt like this one flew by.
This was 10 minutes longer than the other ones, and it felt like it.
I see. Not to me.
I don't know, man. It was boring. Like, to me, this movie, they were like saving all the great stuff for the third act, because there's like an undeniably amazing battle sequence in the third act. But until then, we're just sort of farting around.
I didn't feel that way. I loved the whole thing with the Yakuza woman. I mean, every movie now we're having these, which is really interesting to me because, as we said last week, in so many words, the parallels between these and some of the Sergio Leone things are undeniable. But isn't it kind of amazing that like these movies that take place in an earlier time period than those, and yet the role of the women, they're very, very compelling characters. Like
they're compelling characters, but they're just getting raped left and right.
No. I don't think that. But I mean, you have this woman here is the leader of the fucking female Yakuza. I mean, she's a kick-ass character. I mean,
But before that, we're dealing with another prostitute. He stops by a motel. It's like a Red Roof Inn, and
Bamboo Inn.
Right. He goes in, and he's like, "I need a room for me and my baby." He gets one. But then we're also checking in with a prostitute who's also staying in the same place. And this fat guy comes in and rapes her. And then he's just like licking her.
Yeah, that was awful.
He's just got his tongue out.
I think he stopped. Isn't he stopped? All right. Jesus. Isn't he stopped?
Yeah, he stopped. She bites off his tongue.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking cool. I didn't think that was going to happen. Man.
No, it's fucking nuts. And then he dies, which I was expecting. Like the tongue bite killed him.
Well, I think that's possible. I mean, if she bit enough of it off, he just swallowed his own tongue. He choked on his blood, right?
I guess, man. But just swallow the blood. Cauterize that tongue.
Cauterize the tongue inside your own throat. The paramedics didn't get to him on time, but yeah, I don't know. So we're not going to see eye to eye on this. I also thought this was like the best appearance of this little tyke. I thought he was good in this too.
No, he's better in the next one.
Don't agree at all.
He leaves him in the cart in the last fight sequence in this one. He's just in the cart.
I like.
I want him involved in the action.
He is involved in the action.
No, he's not. Every so often, he's just like, Papa over there.
Oh, it's fine. Dude, fucking, we get to see Lone Wolf get tortured.
That was baller. So, yeah, the Yakuza get him. I like when they go into his motel room, and they're searching his motel room, and he's just like, get the fuck out. I shouldn't do that voice. No, that would be the most offensive thing you've ever done. Definitely. Number one. So he gets tortured by the Yakuza. Yeah, he's like held upside down. At first, I gotta be honest, they were like ducking his head underwater and spinning him, and I was like, I could do this.
That's exactly what I thought too.
Yeah,
I was like, wait a second, wait. All right, you hang me upside down. You could duck my head a little bit. I could take it. You could probably even beat me a little bit with canes.
Honestly, you could beat me a little bit with canes. Not as much as they do in this movie. But, honestly, the first, 75% of this torture, I was like, I would be able to handle this. Torture me all you want. But then they're, really beating him, his fucking chest looks like raw meat. And...
Well, he's doing this because, actually, it kind of made me laugh because... You really have to know a lot about codes in this world. Imagine going around the countryside. Literally everyone he encounters is like, because you have pointed your sword northwest, you have now violated the code of so-and-so. And now everything has a code. My God. So the Yakuza woman is like, you have the woman is being sold into prostitution, but you can save her by being tortured and taking her place. If you survive, then he does that. He survives. Then she goes, "You have done this. Therefore she's free." And then I'm like, "Great, he's free to go." And she's like, "No, you're not free yet. Now we have to fight."
It's all of these outdated fucking honor codes, and it drove me nuts growing up reading comic books because comic book writers from the 70s and 80s and 90s, the only thing they knew about Japanese people was old samurai movies. And so you'd read an X-Men comic that's taking place in present day, and a Japanese man in 1992 is now I must commit seppuku. And you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, Chris Claremont? Go to bed.
codes here. I personally would get very confused were I wandering the countryside as a samurai. I would not understand all the codes, and I would probably have a.
And there's so many regions. Like, are the codes the same in all the regions? I feel like you could get caught up in weird stuff where it's like, wait, in the Shinto region, I'd be free right now, but here in the Kanto region, I have to duel? What's going on?
Weed is legal in the Shinto region. Wait, is abortion not? No, not over here. You're about 60 paces that way. You can do that. I thought you didn't have the death penalty here. We don't, but we do have torture. Mm-hmm. I can't keep it straight. Can we federalize the Japanese samurai code system, please?
I really do think we need that. I believe in, obviously, a very small government. And
no, you believe in very big government. No, everything in its code needs to be national.
No, you're right. We need to nationalize this code.
It's too confusing.
I agree. We got to go back in time. That's the first thing I'm going to do if I get a time machine, is federalize the Japanese honor codes.
So, on that perfect segue, if not a bit tangential, I think I may have been able to figure out what time we are in.
Oh, please tell me.
Right. So I'm watching the movie, and for the first time, we see a gun, not gunpowder. It's a revolver.
I didn't like it. I don't like the amount of guns in these third and fourth Lone Wolf and Cub
I'm
movies.
with you. I'm with you.
Give me that hand-to-hand combat I like.
I agree with you. That's a separate discussion. I agree with you. The guns do change the dynamic of actually both these two movies. But so I'm looking in like a nerd, and I'm like, well, revolvers didn't really exist until like 1830 or something. So let me look this all up. So I'm looking up stuff. And indeed, I'm pretty sure we are in the region of maybe 1840. So
that is mind-blowing. That is centuries later than I thought it was.
I mean, that's what I...
You're telling me that America exists with all this shit going on?
Unless
he's roaming the countryside in a sword, worrying about honor codes, and right. We've got fucking Andrew Jackson in office?
Actually, in 1830, Andrew Jackson was in office.
Fucking nailed
Good
it.
for you. Brushing up from last week. Well, here's the thing, is that it is shocking. Because if they would have left the revolver out, you'd still be in a completely nebulous time period, because gunpowder's been around since like the fucking 13 or 1400s. But the revolver changes it, man. That's Old West shit. So we have to be in that period.
I don't want a revolver. Revolvers do not belong in these samurai stories. Listen, candlestick, yes. Wrench, yes. Rope, yes. I'll say lead pipe, yes.
Spectrum, yes.
Knife, yes.
Get this cat out of here. Man with Two Brains, 1983, Steve Martin.
Her for her.
Whoa!
Right? That's his name of that?
You knew that. Remembered that movie. Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie might be the only time where someone's funny name is allowable. And even then,
there are a couple, but it's not a usual thing. You're right.
It's not good to do that. But Mr. Hover.
Yeah. I watched The Hot Chick this week. There's a lot of that in that movie. Fun names.
Oh, Rob Schneider's?
Yeah.
How's that for you? That's good.
Really held up.
Yeah, I bet it did.
You won't remember that movie begins 50 years before the birth of Christ.
Really?
It's an extended flashback at the start of that movie.
That's very extended.
All about the ancient magic that has the ability to turn him into the hot chick.
Wow. Oh, that sounds fascinating. Well, so here we go. And definitely listener input. And please email me at henryfranchise@outlook.com. I am fascinated by when things take place, time periods and such. Am I on the nose, John Evan Bear? Am I on the nose when these take place?
Somebody do the requisite research.
Yeah. Anyway. So,
so let's check in with the Cub for a while. Yeah. He's recovering from his torture. Cub's hanging out. It's raining. He's sitting on the porch. He's blowing some spit bubbles.
Yeah, that was a little weird. But I loved the shots of the frog and the nature.
Yeah, he's watching frogs and snails in the rain.
Do you think everything in this movie looked really good?
Really beautiful.
A marked difference, though?
No, for sure. Like, I prefer the next movie, but obviously Kenji Masumi is a much more accomplished filmmaker than the dude who directed the next movie. I just thought the next movie had like a rawness and fun to it.
See, that's how I felt about this. I felt like this movie to me, the third one, I felt like it could exist just by itself and not even having seen the other two. I felt like it was a totally like independent possibility. I think it had everything going for it. I don't know.
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
If anything, I felt like this could have been the last Lone Wolf and Cub movie.
Really?
Yeah. Boy. Because it's like that battle scene at the end. How do you top that? He's fighting like 100 dudes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but he does the very similar thing in the next one, in Peril. I mean, he's in the fucking fighting 1,000 guys in that too, man. I mean, he's always fighting 1,000 guys. So, I mean,
now he is because they keep feeling like they have to top the previous one.
Yeah, that's probably true. There's going to be like battleships and legions of people in the ocean just waiting to climb on.
Yeah, you're right. He's going to be fighting a fucking armada in the sixth one.
It'll be like a Rise of Skywalker at the end. It'll just be planets will converge to kill this motherfucker.
Yeah.
And they,
Lone Wolf and Infinite Earths.
Lone Wolf in 1830, Andrew Jackson, U.S. Army.
They should do one where he goes to America. Can you imagine? He could take a... Oh, wait. I'm a fucking idiot. I was about to say he could take an airplane. We're not quite that late.
Hey, the Wright brothers are what? We're like 70 years off? Who knows? I want him to go to America, kill Andrew Jackson, and save the Native Americans from the Trail of Tears. That's a fucking movie. Lone Wolf and Cub on the Trail of Tears.
How about Lone Wolf and Cub on the Underground Railroad?
Love it.
Sequelize Harriet. Put Lone Wolf and Cub in it. I think you got something.
Stand up. That's right.
I do think the time might be right for a Lone Wolf and Cub reboot.
Well, didn't they? That would be very cool, by the way. But didn't they do that in '93, or is that just a?
That's a thing I keep seeing on the internet, but John Evan Bear didn't tell us to watch it, so I don't know.
I don't relate it, I guess. But this would be an interesting thing to remake. I don't know. I mean, you could do it. Who would do it?
Do it in English. Get someone. You need a Japanese filmmaker, I suppose, right?
Yeah, unless they fucking anglicize it. You know who would do this and it would be unwatchable?
Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. No, you know who would do this? Dude, I already got it. Just hit me like a bolt of lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Nicholas Winding Refn would fucking do this shit.
Oh, it would be so boring.
Exactly. It would be unwatchable. It would go on forever. And Ryan Gosling would obviously be Lone Wolf.
No, they should get the John Wick guys to do this.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
That would be perfect. You got horses participating. I
forgot about that horse.
The best scene in any three of the movies. Yeah, those horses kicking ass.
No, knife fight. Knife fight's my favorite scene in any of those movies.
I don't know, man.
When he's throwing knives into heads in the library.
Those movies are great, everybody. They're great.
They're good.
And you know what's better, though?
What?
The coverage of those movies by these two guys on the internet. Harry and David, I think their names are.
Boy. So what? At the end of this movie, he's got a lot of swords. He's jumping around like fucking Darth Maul. The villains all have machine guns and he's got grenades. It's like this big fucking war. And,
it is a war.
And the Lone Wolf comes out on top. And fucking the cub, he gets out of the baby cart, finds his dad. The dad's got a sword in his back. The cub takes the sword out.
No, you're jumping into the next movie, but
that's not this movie.
No.
Oh, you're right. I have that note. Fuck.
I get it.
Wait, so what's the end of this movie?
Oh man. Well,
he does get stabbed in the back.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing that happens here is that essentially the two big henchmen I like, because even though I got used to the gun thing, all right. So we have like a guy who shoots. He's like, I got 2 6-shooters, and so he's got to take him out, and he's got to take out. I think the other guy's weapon is just like a sword or something, but he takes these 2 guys out, and then he has to kill the main guy. And how he does it is, you think he's finished, and he fucking rolls down the hill, and then Lone Wolf just like pulls out the 6-shooters because he stole them off the other guy and fucking shoots him. Man, it's good stuff. I dug it. And then Kanbei, who was watching the whole time, is like, look.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he comes back out. And, I thought this was fucked up on Kanbei. Like, he comes in and he's like, all right, now let's at last have a simple duel to discover who the best is. And if I'm Lone Wolf, I would be like, how about tomorrow? I just fought 100 guys.
Well, I believe Kanbei.
This could be an honor code thing, though. You can't turn down a duel.
It totally is. You can't turn down that. The thing is that Kanbei he was spared by Lone Wolf in the beginning, because Lone Wolf is like, I'm not going to kill you. I can't already kill a dead man, because you were obviously disowned by your clan, which is true. And then we get Kanbei's story about why he was disowned. And I thought that was very cool. I thought the flashback was very cool. Yet more codes that I didn't understand, where he is trying to protect his leader. So they get ambushed. He runs in front to try to fight, but he leaves the leader and the group back. So they're not grateful that he saved everybody's life. They're mad at him because he left his position. And so that's when Lone Wolf fucking kills him. And then he's able to give off this monologue in all this time where he's choking on his own blood, like we have come to know so well and love in these movies.
This is not a VO monologue, though. This is like he's like speaking to the Lone Wolf.
He is speaking long story. And he says, tell me, was this the way of the samurai? Did I do the right thing? And Lone Wolf says, listen, bud, you did the right thing. I would have left that group too to protect your master. So your fucking code was stupid.
Yeah, but do we really want to listen to the Lone Wolf? This guy's been excommunicated from his tribe. I mean, we want to trust this guy's advice?
He's kind of a legend in this particular region.
What? Just because he's the Shingatsu executioner or whatever?
I believe it's shogunate.
Oh, yeah.
Shogunate?
No, shogunate, I think is right. I don't know.
And I don't fucking know. Yeah. I loved all that shit, man. I thought it was great.
No, it was cool. I liked all the stuff with Yasin Bey. He was the best character. He was my... What?
Who?
What's his name?
Yasin Kanbei.
Oh, right. Yasin Bey is what Mos Def calls himself now.
Okay.
I guess he's the MVP.
It's my MVP. That's Go Kato. That's the actor.
Oh, okay. That's why you were saying that before. I thought you were making a Green Hornet reference.
Right. Well, no. No, I was not.
Who's your LVP in this film?
I don't know.
Oh, come
I'm having a really hard time with these movies picking LVPs, because all the worst, they're all bad.
The fat guy with the tongue. I couldn't take it.
Oh, fine. See, but it's not the performances in these movies. Everybody's very good, so you're really looking at characters when you're picking LVPs.
My LVP in this movie might be the performance is a little too good. My sense is that the direction was be gross, and he was fucking disgusting.
The liquor.
The liquor, yeah. Oh, like Resident Evil, bro.
It's real bad.
The liquor.
He's real bad. Yeah, I mean, we don't get much better in terms of yelling cut before we should yell cut in the next movie in terms of fondling people.
Plenty of fondling in this franchise.
Oh, my God. But anyway,
there's got to be some like really gross Lone Wolf and Cub fan fiction on the internet, do you think?
Oh, I mean, come on. Of course. I mean,
maybe some hentai somewhere?
I mean, it's the only one of the things that I like about, they do give, like, a lot of this stuff happens in old westerns where the women are prostitutes and they generally get violated all the time, and and they don't have any kind of real role. But that's why Mizumi does have, I mean, well, maybe not the first one, right? We don't get really a strong female character except the wife, I guess.
We kind of do. The prostitute in the first one. Oh, yeah. But she's also the one who's like, "Thank you for raping me, Lone Wolf."
But I mean, like, female villains, you know. In the second one, we got a kick-ass one. In this one, we got the Yakuza
There's
woman.
a great one in the next one.
Yes, agreed.
Tat tit.
Tat tit.
Yeah, because she's got lots of tattoos on her boobs.
Yeah, tatitite. Yeah. So, what are you giving this?
I'm down again to a 3.
Well, I'm jumping way up. It's the best one I've seen so far, and we're 4 through 6 we've seen now. I'm going all the way up. I'm giving it a 5.
5.
Yeah.
Henry's
because
listen, everybody. Lone Wolf and Cub, baby cart to Hades, a 5 in Henry's estimation.
That's right. Look, if these are these are the kind of films you're into, this is what you like. I mean, this is not my genre. It's not Dan's genre either, but this is a very.
What would you say my genre is?
Like teen comedy.
What would you say, Henry? Name a movie. Like, if you wanted to let someone know what kind of movies I like, what would you say? If I was going to describe you, I would say Ford v Ferrari.
Wow, you just right from last year. You wouldn't even dig deep, huh? No. That's just last year's movie. That's
yeah.
Yeah, that is great, by the way, everybody.
Well, 2.5 hour movie of the ingenuity about a couple of bearded white guys who got in too deep.
And you really liked it too, as you told me a week ago, so go fuck yourself.
It's good. I give it a 3, but it's very good.
I don't know what your rating is, but you told me it was really good.
Yeah, I recommend it.
I would say a Dan movie would be Clueless.
Clueless? That's actually not bad.
I mean,
my instinct was to be insulted by that, but I guess that's right.
I wasn't trying to insult you, unlike you to me. I think that you like movies that take place in high school. It's super smart.
Yeah.
It's from the mid '90s when you were a kid. It's probably one of the definitive movies. If not that, I would have to pick something by Richard Linklater. Sure. I would say, what's a Richard Linklater movie you're going to get this guy, his taste in movies? Now, if you were being kind to me, besides saying Ford v Ferrari, which I did love, what would you say was mine?
I feel like Ford v Ferrari is such a good answer. But let me, if I'm going with something earlier, maybe, I don't know. It'd have to be like a gritty cop kind of a situation. I don't know, maybe Black Rain.
Oh, God. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I am great friends with an asshole.
That's not an asshole. I feel like those are viable choices.
You know, you could say, oh, I don't know, maybe Henry's into like Apocalypse Now, or that really.
No. But see, the first thing I thought of was like Heat, but it's like the kind of thing like that doesn't define you. Everyone in the world loves Heat.
No. Okay. See, Black Rain is more singular.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do.
It's true. That is true. All right.
Yeah. All right. How about this? Prometheus.
That's good. Ford versus Ferrari is very, very good.
I know.
Get your 3-star on that. I expected fucking nothing from that movie.
I thought it was going to be great. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but it was a compelling story. I like James Mangold's direction, and Christian Bale was great. But I just felt like it was overlong, and I wasn't always interested.
Yeah, I didn't feel a minute of that time, man. I loved it. It's funny. It's emotional. It's got great action. All right, I'm done. Sorry about that, folks. All right, moving on.
Do we have a superhero count?
No, there's no superhero count. I did this again for these two, and there's absolutely fucking nothing, man.
Oh, here's what I wrote.
I'm enjoying it a lot.
Here's what I wrote immediately after watching Ford v Ferrari, Henry. entertainingly meat and potatoes Hollywood prestige picture unfortunately failed to convince me about any matters involving Christian Bale's family or the mustache twirling of Josh Lucas.
All right. Well, the Josh Lucas thing is that's valid. He's pretty cardboard, but I don't agree with you on the Bale thing at all.
I cared about the Le Mans race and the car. I didn't care about the family stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
And I didn't know that ending. I did not know that ending, so it fucking
Nor did I. That was great.
startled me. Yeah. All right.
All right, gang. Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart and Peril.
Wait, whoa. So you're giving? What did you give Hades?
We did this. I gave it a 3. You gave it a 5. Our MVP was Yassine Bey, and our LVP was the fat guy.
Sorry, I did remember the MVP. I could not remember you giving a rating. We got really sidetracked. I'm sorry. Yes. Baby Cart in Peril.
Henry watched this today.
I did watch it today. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's fresher in the old noggin. I watched the other one on Saturday night, so here we go.
I was watching Tango and Cash while you were watching this.
Tango and Cash. I watched Knives Out yesterday too.
What do you give that?
Oh, that's a 4.
That's a 5. Perfect movie.
It's very close to a 5. It almost borders on I'm not sure what the point is, but it was so much fun I didn't care.
What do you mean I'm not sure what the point is?
Well, no, meaning that it just it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I thought it was funnier than I ever thought it was going to be. It was very fucking funny. I think Ryan Johnson is good. I think it's an actor's movie, and it's a Ryan Johnson good script.
Great script.
Yeah, it really is a good script. Such
a degree of difficulty. I feel like Ryan Johnson should have gotten extra points for that script just because it's harder to write a script like that.
Yeah,
it fit together so perfectly and managed to be entertaining at any given point. And I thought spoilers for Knives Out, but that last shot or second to last shot of the movie with her on the balcony and the family, just fucking brilliant.
No, it's fucking great. It's almost Wes Anderson-y in his best, that last part, that last shot, and I thought the cool
it was
part
almost like it had the same message as Parasite, but with a happy ending.
Yes. I just love a script like that because it brings out the best in otherwise what you might consider actors who aren't that great. Like Chris Evans. I was like, holy shit, man.
When was the last time you thought Jamie Lee Curtis was that good?
Halloween.
Oh, Halloween, right? Fuck. No, but you're right. Everyone, Ana de Armas is a fucking superstar. She'll be huge.
Don Johnson was hysterical.
I'm loving this Don Johnson assance we're in.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
I always loved Don Johnson. He took a little time there to get back on his game with.
But ever since he came back on Eastbound as Kenny Powers' dad, I just think like everything he's in, he's great.
Don Johnson, man.
Yeah, and Michael Shannon was great, man. And Toni Collette. Toni Collette should be in everything.
She's crazy. I feel like she is. She's just, and doesn't matter what she's on. You didn't watch Unbelievable, that great
No, I didn't. I should. She's such a sexy praying mantis. She's like a praying mantis you want to fuck.
Was there a shot of a praying mantis in Baby Carrot?
Baby Carrot? Baby Carrot.
Baby
Carrot. That's a different movie.
Frogs and the river Styx and haze and peril. Oh, it's out of control this
Twix.
week. The river. The river Styx is for kids.
We eat what we like.
The franchise brought to you by Hasbro and Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
No, that's Apple Jacks.
Seppuku kids, not good for you.
We have a new director, Henry.
Yeah, we do.
How about that? Buichi Saito.
He's got big shoes to fill. He's coming in here. I'm thinking, why was Mizumi not helming this?
I don't know. Maybe he was tired after directing 3 movies in the space of 9 months.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. It's his baby, though. It's kind of like, is it like a Bond scenario?
It's not his baby, though. It's really Kazuo Koike's baby.
Yeah, well, okay, but the director is what's making these
But
fucking films.
but to me, that big action sequence at the end of the third one was him going like, "Did all I can here. See ya."
I don't know. I get the feeling these are very important to Kenji, and they don't feel like they're just hashed out. And it feels like they are deliberate. But anyway, he steps away. It's a mistake for him to step away, but it's still not a bad film. What follows?
I loved it.
I think it's about we have very different tastes. I think this is the equivalent of the second one, which I'm already forgetting its title. The one that you gave. Really
I liked it more. Oh, you know what? Yeah, the second one. It is like that, and I prefer those.
And I don't.
I like these fun romps.
Well,
I think I like the procedural Lone Wolf and Cub more than dealing with his own clan. I like him on missions.
You like him on missions. Yeah. I mean, River Styx is what we're talking about. Yeah. No, but remember, I liked River Styx significantly more than I liked Sword of Vengeance.
Me too.
But I liked Peril about the same as River Styx. To me, Hades was the be-all, end-all what I want from this. But I still liked Peril.
Okay. So
length, and it's shorter than the previous one.
This was released December 30th, 1972, our fourth and final film of 1972 in the franchise. All right. Opening up, nipples right away.
Crazy, man. This shit was crazy. And then I got a little embarrassed because I was like thinking, if this is the tattooed woman I've been hearing so much about, first shot, she's shirtless. So I'm like, is she going to be shirtless for the whole movie, every scene?
I was wondering that too, but she's not.
They don't do her that indignity, but I mean, I'll say it's a visually arresting opening. It certainly got my attention.
Right away, we're like, check out this lady. She's tatted up. We're going to bloody up those nipple tats.
Crazy, man.
And she's got a full back tat. It's crazy. It's the tats don't look great. It looks like airbrushing to me. They don't look like real tattoos.
I think they were fine. I mean, even though we do get an extremely long
it's
discourse.
like, in wrestling, when a lot of wrestlers have tattoos, but some wrestlers have tattoos just for their character, and you can always tell when it's the fake tattoos.
I feel like in my day, in the 80s, them tats were real if they had tats. They didn't fuck around.
No, all the tats are real, but okay, here's what I'm thinking. There was this guy, Umaga, okay? And his gimmick, he was like, you remember the head shrinkers? Where it's like, I'm a crazy native.
Oh, of course.
They found me in the jungle.
Of course, you got your fucking Jimmy Superfly Snukas, everybody. Anyone who's brown is like
right.
Crazy voodoo man.
Yeah. Papa Shango. That was another one. But Umaga, he had full face tat. And it was...
Yeah, wait. The Ugandan giant. Remember him?
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah, he was terrifying. I even found him terrifying as a kid. He was this huge, overweight black guy with fucking moons tattooed on his
Yes,
chest.
Yeah. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
From the jungles of Africa.
Yeah, it's always like that. Now coming to the ring from the dark continent.
And you knew the next line wouldn't be Ted DiBiase, the $1 million man.
No, it was always like Kokuba coming in.
Beware!
Yeah, with his manager Jimmy Hart.
There the South.
Yeah, they always had someone who could talk, and then the wrestler would just be like, "Ugh!"
Ito Ogami
with his manager.
Baby card and Cub.
Okay, so new theme song. Did you happen to notice that? We don't get the old down.
All I know is that However I feel about these movies, the music keeps getting awesomer.
It sounds like fucking free jazz in this movie.
It's unbelievable, man. I'm loving the soundtracks of these movies. They're getting better and better and better. Yeah.
They're probably available. Maybe I'll get you these soundtracks for your birthday.
You don't have to do that. It's okay. Thank you, though.
Fuck you. That's a thoughtful gift.
An amazing gift. I think it would probably cost you like 80 million yen, but I mean, you could try to.
How many dollars is that? Like $4?
Probably like $4.
I don't know the conversion rate. Sorry.
What if it's 500 ryo?
Don't use that voice.
It's his voice. It's what he charges in assassination. 500 ryo.
Oh, Rio, right? Yeah, they do keep saying that.
Ryo.
Okay, so here's what I love, Henry. Here's what I loved about this fourth movie.
I want to hear it.
So the lone wolf, he's on a new mission. They're sending him to kill this tattooed lady.
Yeah.
Right? And she's like a badass. We see her at the beginning, like ripping up these dudes who are trying to get her. And she seems like a baller character. And we get to see her boobs a lot. And so Lone Wolf goes on to this investigation where, like, he doesn't know where she is. He has to find her in order to kill her. And so we actually see, like, Lone Wolf going around doing some detective work in this movie. It reminded me of, like, a Batman thing where, like, the writers remember that he's good at being a detective. And so they give him a detective storyline.
If the third one was like to me like a Bond movie, this one then he's Batman in this one.
This is like the Chinatown of the Lone Wolf and Cub franchise.
Yeah, well, there's definitely a lot of unwanted sexual advances going on. So
Japantown,
Japantown, Edo Town.
My brother, my cub. My brother, my cub.
He's my shogun. My samurai! My shogun! My samurai!
Oh, boy. So Lone Wolf, he shows up at this tattoo parlor because he knows this is where she got her tattoos.
I love, by the way, in these movies, whenever we pass, like, some kind of building and the subtitles just show us what it is.
Yeah.
It'll say, like, parlor. I was like, all right, I didn't need to know that.
Yeah, thanks, movie.
Thanks for all that information.
It's like when you're watching like The West Wing or The X-Files and all of a sudden it's like Tuesday. And I'm like, I don't care. You don't have to tell me that. I don't need to know what day of the week it is.
Way station.
Right, or The X-Files will be like 3:22 p.m. And I'm like, you could have given me an estimate. I didn't need the exact time.
Around 3.
Yeah.
Mid-afternoon.
I could tell it's slight out. Like,
yeah.
It's fine.
They might as well put out, if it's raining, it should say slightly scattered storms.
Right. You can just write exterior building day. You don't need to write exterior building Wednesday 4:06.
Yeah. They want to just share the screenplay. They want to share the effort. Just show the stage directions. You might as well fucking say, Ogami, Lone Wolf and Cub, enter scene, walk by way station.
Stage right.
Cool. Very cool. We get to see Koei Kakuin.
I loved this tattoo parlor artist.
He is very long-winded.
I loved him though. This was a great flashback where he's like, let me tell you about this woman.
Yeah.
First of all, the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my life. Granted, she didn't show me her face, but this body was unbelievable.
And she does show him her face.
I know.
The funniest fucking things. I think that was an error. I don't.
It had to be. Because he specifically says that he didn't see her face, but considering how amazing the rest of her was, I bet you it was a beautiful face.
Right. And then they show in the flashback when she's getting the tat.
Yeah, he's giving her tattoo on her boob. She's face up, and her face is completely visible.
Yeah. By the way, Lone Wolf, very patient listener.
Oh yeah, he'll let you tell your story.
He is all ears. Maybe he's zoning out a lot of the time. Maybe that's why he has a dead look in his eyes.
I don't think so. I think he's picturing it. He's like putting up his hands to like
Really?
form
That was-
a frame.
Okay. All right. Oh, all right. Got it. Yeah. Visual joke from Dan there. Yeah. Just because he listens a lot. There's a lot of information he has to take in. So you tell this guy's story. What happened?
It's not really a story. He's just telling the lone wolf about what an amazing woman this is and how he gave her tats. And I will say I don't like her tats.
You did say that already, but one tat on the back.
No, but I said that I don't like the way they look. They look fake. But don't they look like Rob Zombie tattoos?
I never.
There's like her front is just like a little baby devil grabbing her boob.
Right, but I guess they're in like Japanese mythology. I guess there's some sort of scary beasts. I mean, I don't know, but it's possible. But I think the guy, his main point, right, the tattoo artist's main point was that anyone who gets a tattoo experiences excruciating pain, which I would imagine would be true getting a tattoo in the early 19th century.
Right.
She got the full body almost tattoo and didn't even wince.
She never even moaned. Yeah. Yeah, right. And meanwhile, here's something interesting about this scene. In previous movies, we've seen Lone Wolf bring Cub into war. And in this movie, he's like, listen, I'm going to a tattoo parlor. I think you ought to leave. Stay behind.
Drinking and whoring and killing, all okay. Yeah. I do not want to get any ideas, young man, about tattoos yet.
It's like because they're on like the road to hell or whatever because of like their mission or whatever. Yeah. I feel like he's totally willing to let Cub die at any moment. Like, I feel like the goal is for them both to like die together and be reunited with the mom in heaven or hell or something.
Yeah.
And I think that is a weird thing about the movies and TV shows that have like used this as a template. And I think that's where it comes from. All these arguments by people watching like The Mandalorian or Logan, where it's like, actually, like The Mandalorian is a really bad caretaker. He keeps taking Baby Yoda into like horrible situations. That was a lot of the criticism about this season.
Really?
Yeah. And
where's he fucking gonna leave him? He can't leave him anywhere.
But, I mean, it's kind of true, and I think it's a relic of this template set from Lone Wolf and Cub. Because, like, if they were really following the template, then Mandalorian has to just be okay with Baby Yoda dying at any moment. Yeah.
Well, I think that's where the template diverges because of the times. I mean, because
but I think what it is we're going to use that template, but we're going to like change it for modern eyes and ears. And so it kind of doesn't work. If you really think about Logan and the Mandalorian, they're doing a little bobbing and weaving around this premise.
I think you're right. But I think they're also putting some clarity to it because it is, whatever the lone wolf, it's very strange because you're right. I mean, his son's life, I suppose, is expendable because he believes in this afterlife and he believes it's a destiny. Yet he's not careless. I mean, he does look for him. He does protect him. I mean, many times he saves the kid's life. I mean, especially the well scene, the wishing well scene.
Well, I think he wants them both to die an honorable death. So he's not going to like let the kid be killed. If he can save him, he's gonna.
Right. Whereas in The Mandalorian and or Logan, there's active protection where it's like, active even affection. And,
right. And I feel like they would let themselves be killed before the baby, whereas I don't know Lone Wolf would.
I don't fucking know what's going on in Lone Wolf's head, man. He's a mystery to me. Still is, Sure. No, you go ahead. You answer that. Yeah.
Everyone's worried about me. I'm going through a hard time.
That's good.
I don't want them to think I'm killing myself over here.
I want you to communicate with people. It's all right, buddy. All right. Go ahead.
So the Cub, we get a little theme song for the Cub here. He's sort of sad and lonely, walking around the village. Oh, and it's raining again, and he loves the rain, the Cub.
He does like rain. I didn't catch a theme song.
Are you kidding me?
Specific to him, really?
There's lyrics. It's like it's literally like, Cub walking around in the rain. Everything's sad out there, Lone Wolf Tattoo Parlor. The Cub, he found some clowns, but now the show is over. What's a cub to do?
La 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 la.
Yeah. So, anyway, he comes.
Now, was the theme song written by the young Pope? Because it certainly felt a little bit like the new Pope taking the Lord Cub, walking through the rain.
Sitting down for an audience with Marilyn Manson.
That scene was fucking great.
He looks terrible.
He's fat.
He's fat now. That's the thing.
Fucking fat. That whole goth thing.
Fat goth is not a good look.
Doesn't work, especially when you're 55. It's not,
Oh, you're right. Fat 55-year-old goth.
It's Social Security, Marilyn Manson.
He should get back together with Rose McGowan. They look as good as each other.
There's no look. I haven't seen her in a while. She is a gorgeous human being. There's no fucking.
I believe you're referring to her earlier face.
My
okay.
Right.
So Cub comes upon a Yagyu soldier, a former Yagyu soldier, I believe.
That's right.
And he looks into the Cub's little baby eyes, and he's like, "This cub has seen death and destruction beyond what a regular cub has. I'm interested in your eyes. Excuse me, little boy. Can I just stand here and stare in your little baby boy eyes for like 10 minutes and monologue about it?"
The kid gives him a death stare. The little kid actor's getting good. He's starting to know expression.
I agree. I think the kid in the third and fourth movie was definitely improved from the first two.
Well, they might have finally told him that he's like in a movie.
Although in the second one, he's spitting water into the... Maybe he's only just like a prop in the first one.
Yeah, I think so. Oh.
Okay, so this guy, the random former Yagyu guy, it turns out... And also, he's very pretty. I liked his feathered hair.
Who? The Yagyu guy?
Yeah.
Oh, when he lets it down, right? It's like he's got a whole sort of Farrah Fawcett thing going on there. Like
yeah.
Samurai Farrah Fawcett.
I don't know. It's a good look.
It's a good look for him. Dan's digging the Yagyu's hair.
Yeah. It turns out this dude was like Lone Wolf's closest competition to be the what is it? The shogunate executioner?
That's correct.
Right.
That's right.
And what happens is in the heat of battle, this dude turned his sword accidentally on like the head of the clan.
Another no-no.
Yeah. And
another no-no.
And the Lone Wolf got in front of the sword, in between his sword and the head of the clan, and so the Yagyu were like, "Well, we're gonna pick this guy."
And
is he 100 pounds heavier than the other guy? Yes, but we're gonna pick him.
Again, I feel like if I were this guy, I'd be like, "Come on, guys! It was an accident. I was about to execute him. I earned it. I'm sorry that I offended you by pointing my sword, but come on, cut me some fucking slack." No, not the case. They fucking get this poor face maker bastard to fucking Dawn the Outsider going on here. He's a doppelganger. Will you be executed in his place, please? Sure, no problem. You will die so that we will pretend the other man died, and we will set him free upon the countryside.
Well, because it turns out that his dad was like a top guy in the organization.
Wait, I missed that thread.
Yeah, the dad says like, "All right, listen, you're my son. I'm not gonna let you be like murdered." So yeah. So he's like, "Get the fuck out of here. Change your look. Work on your hair."
I'm not sure you're right about
I'm
that.
100% right. I feel very confident in this.
He said, "Okay, Larry David." He says that I cannot kill you because I respect your swordsmanship. That's all he says.
No, but before that, a guy shows up into his room and he's like, "We're gonna work out something where we're gonna let you go," and it's because it's his dad.
Boy, I don't recall that. All right. All right.
Listeners who watched Baby Cart and Peril, and I know there are a few of you. I've seen them on Letterboxd. Let me know if I'm right about that.
1.25 of our viewers. How about that grass field being lit on fire and the fucking kid just like burying himself?
That's right. Yeah, and accepting death in the middle of the fire. This little boy.
Fucking nuts, man.
Cool
He's
scene.
like in the middle of like what do they call that? Like a controlled fire or some shit. And this guy watches the whole thing. He's like, I should save him, but I want to see.
FYI, also 1972 Japanese film. This child actor almost died.
Totally went through my head because I'm watching and I'm like, did they have like
1972 any film, by the way. I shouldn't even specify.
Point.
In 1986, we were still decapitating Vic Morrow.
Yeah. It's 83.
Right. You're right.
Fucking, yeah, in The Godfather, the baby getting baptized, totally unsanitized water. Probably got typhoid fever.
A yeast infection.
Yeah.
How about the scene? So he goes into that temple, and there are those weird shadow guys who are like hanging out on the ceiling covered in makeup.
They looked bad, but it was a cool scene.
They looked great. I thought they looked awesome.
They threw a little clay
I
on their face.
thought they looked like those aliens with the white clay on their face at the beginning of Star Trek Beyond.
I don't reference that. I don't know.
You don't remember the beginning of Star Trek Beyond, and they're running through the woods, and then they come up on the Enterprise?
Oh, you're talking about the J.J. Abrams movies.
Not the third one though, not the one J.J. directed.
Yeah. Wow, the one where it got back to it was very good.
Return to form. Yeah.
Return to form. I now okay. Jesus Christ, what a reference. All right. What are you, me?
Yeah, that is a you reference. All right. Next up, rape scene. You know, I thought we might make it through this one without any rapes, but I guess not.
Well, there's it becomes where there was this is where I sense the direction, the meaning of the director.
Mm-hmm.
So I want Kenji back because I feel like the pacing is much slower. I don't like the artistry of the camera work as much. And then we get to this, and I don't know why, but this is where I thought about when we've seen this before. Sometimes we get some cutaways. Sometimes we get a little bit, but this time we really linger on this guy. Just like he's feeling.
But also, it was tamer. We didn't see anything that bad. There was nothing on the level of the liquor.
There's an exploitation. There's an exploitation going on there where this guy is just like ruminating over. He's just feeling her. I mean, she's just laying there, and the camera doesn't cut, and it just shows it all. And I'm just like, all right.
Well, they spent so much time on this makeup. They want to show it.
Nice excuse.
Also, I'll say that the one thing of
money, give me a break. It's fucking terrible. Come on.
There's something about this movie that is weird, and that's I think the movie has a weird shape. I think what you're reacting to a little bit, Henry, is the third movie has a shape of total escalation. It's ever rising.
That yes.
Whereas this one felt almost like a Russian doll to me, where it's like we're gonna set something up on the outside and we're gonna keep deconstructing it and seeing what's in it. It almost reminded me of a Simpsons plot structure. I don't know if you're that familiar with how The Simpsons works, but like the first 5 minutes is always like about something completely different until we sort of like open up the story. And so to open on the nipple tat girl, and then there's the former Yagyu guy, and everything just sort of comes together. The investigation, the fight scenes. They're apart, they come together. I feel like we're almost doing movies within movies, where it's the tat girl, then we're gonna have the subplot with the Yagyu guy, and then we're back to the tat girl. So instead of rising all the time, I feel like we're rising and sinking and plateauing and rising anew.
Oh, I think that's exactly right, and I think that might be one of my main problems with the movie was that I was going into this also from the beginning thinking that the tattooed woman was going to be the nemesis, the arch nemesis. She's nothing of the sort. I'm glad we got a little explanation to her state of being and why she is the way she is. We get why she got the tattoos. We're real big into origin telling here.
We love origins in these fucking movies.
Right. But so then by the end, because of what you said, is not the movie a little anticlimactic?
No, I mean, it for sure is, because we're paying off stuff from the earlier movie. The first act and the third act are connected, and then the second act is almost like its own little short film.
Yeah, I mean, she's got really very little relevance to the story, even though she's in it a lot.
Yeah, and she has very little relevance for a good half hour in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then they fucking fight, and she's supposed to be like this incredible swordsman.
And she dies instantly.
He kills her in under 5 seconds.
It's a nice shock, but it also is incredibly anticlimactic. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, and given the fact also, I found Lone Wolf's character behaving rather strangely at this point, because, he's shown, mercy. He's shown to different other characters. He's shown it to women. We forgot even to mention at the end of the third one, one of my favorite parts was the Yakuza woman wants to run after him for some reason. She's like in love with him, I guess. And her friends tell her like, no, he's a monster. He's not human.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking great. But then we come to this and it's like, he hears her whole sob story. He meets her dad. He protects the dad inexplicably.
But then when he hears the sob story from the tatted girl, he goes back to the dad and he's like, "Whoa, Dad, your daughter's like a great lady. Like, what the fuck?"
But then he decides to kill her anyway. So I don't know.
Well, he has to complete his mission. That's the honor code.
I guess so. That's one of the codes within codes within codes.
Yeah.
And you talk about a Russian doll. That's the real Russian doll in these movies. The codes within codes. So then we get that weird fight scene at the end, right, where he unleashes the baby cart with the Gatling, the Gatling guns.
Yeah, and I think that the last battle here is really where you see the weakness of the direction compared to Kenzie Masumi. It just doesn't flow as well.
No,
it doesn't move. There are too many cuts. The choreography isn't. It doesn't sort of follow. Like everything, there's a clarity to the direction in the first three movies that I think is missing here, and I think there are just way too many insert shots. Every time he like stabs anything, we like cut away to like a shot of the stab, and then we cut back.
Which I think is a cop-out for the director, because it's easy for him to go to that.
It's so much easier to just shoot a bunch of insert shots and to make sure that people can follow the direction than to actually choreograph a fight scene that can flow and move from afar.
I completely agree. And, the only thing I do like that stays true is I really was in this movie, actually, in Peril. The movies do a really amazing job. We haven't even commented on this at all, not one time. The sword fighting in this movie, especially when it's like not just one-on-one, but when it's groups of guys, it's very good. Like it's very realistic. Like it doesn't look like he just like hired a bunch of extras and fucking gave them swords.
Yeah, except I love anytime he like hits someone with his sword in like the leg or something. It always leaves like a foot stump still standing.
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about creating some clarity through chaos. And even though there's just a bunch of sword wielding maniacs, like they look like they can actually handle a weapon, and they're not sometimes off to the side in a lot of bad movies. You'll be like, well, just kill him now. He's not looking right now. But they always like have Lone Wolf like aware of what's going on. It doesn't look like he's...
No, you're right. Like in a lot of American films, like it's so lazy for like a group of guys to like go after someone one by one, which doesn't make sense if they want to kill him. And I like that in these movies, he's always fighting like a bunch of dudes at the same time. Like it's so fast and quick and clear that it makes sense. You understand how and why he's able to beat all these guys.
Yeah, and I have to say, at the end of this movie, I I know
And it
this.
does a good job of convincing you, that all of the extras that he's fighting are great swordsmen that
Yes.
are worthy competitors that have been doing this for years. And so even if he's fighting 100 guys, every victory means something.
Yeah, I agree. It's not like they're Bond henchmen who are like
or like
guy.
red shirts in Star Trek. Why do I keep
Yeah.
making Star Trek references?
Not sure. Maybe because you're wearing a red shirt.
Great question. It's got an elephant on it.
Oh, what's elephant for?
I just like elephants.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know that. Is that one of your favorite animals?
Yeah, I would say so.
No.
Top 5.
Top 5 favorite animals.
Yeah.
All right. Wow. All right. Interesting fact about Dan.
The cub. This is where the cub has to pull the sword from his dad's back, and I loved that sequence. I also appreciate that he already had a scar on his back from the previous movie. Good attention to detail. Although I guess it's easier to remember that sort of thing when you're making your sequel only 3 months after the previous one.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But
I actually had a strange thought at the end of this movie because I know nothing about these, and because anything is really possible, which is why I like covering franchises like this. I thought, wow, are they going to kill him off? And maybe the kid will cut forward in the next one or something, and he'll be the new lone wolf? Because I don't know how you survive that.
Interesting.
Well, I honestly had that thought because, I mean, he's laying there with his fucking eyes open. So I thought now we're either going to get supernatural, which I do believe happens, by the way. Yeah, in one of the when I was looking at the next Amazon Prime said in the 5th entry, the fucking I won't give it away, whatever. But I thought so he has to be dead, and then he's still alive, and then he's trekking across the wasteland.
Oh yeah, he's sort of like stumbling in the end of this movie, right. Like he looks like beat.
Yeah, I mean he's got open wounds fucking everywhere, and there is that moment where he just looks dead. He's staring, and then Papa is like his lifeline, and he wakes up.
Yeah, I think he's saying Dad. Is it possible that Dad is Japanese for Papa?
I find it excruciatingly unlikely, but I mean, anything's possible, man.
Okay. What else you got? Anything else about this movie?
I think this is a good entry. I think it's about where River Styx was. I think it may be a little below that for me.
I think this is a strong entry in Lone Wolf and Cub, man. I really like this movie, and it doesn't have a great shape. It doesn't have the clarity of previous entries. It wouldn't be the one I recommend to people. It makes less sense that this is on the Criterion Collection than the first 3 did.
They're all going to be. They had to put them all.
No, of course. But I'm saying, like, the first 3 movies are legitimately, like, artistic pieces that, like, it made sense. Like, watching them, it was like, this is a worthy entry to the Criterion Collection.
Okay, all right.
Whereas this one felt more like a schlocky samurai movie.
Yet you like it more.
Yet on that level, I thought it was really fun, entertaining, 81 minutes, never missed a beat. I thought it did the best job of giving the cub his own shit to do, and it had a couple of really genuinely good villains. The former Yagyu guy and the tatted up lady, great stuff. I give this one a 4.
4 stars for Dan. All right. I give it 3. Same as I gave River Styx. It was a disappointment coming off of Hades.
What's your ranking so far?
It would have to be Baby Caught to Hades as my number 1.
That's the 3rd one.
That's right. And then I would have to probably go River Styx is my 2nd favorite, then Peril, and then the first one. Sword of Vengeance being the worst one, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, close. To me, it would be 2, 4, 3, 1.
Okay. Yeah. So we both think the first one is clearly the
Honestly,
weakest.
I might have said 2, 4, 1, 3, but talking through the 3rd one with you reminded me of all the stuff I liked.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Glad.
Okay. Wow, we really got through it this week.
We really did. We went right through it. We're trying to aim for the same running time as the film.
Yeah, it's true. These are shorter, just like those movies.
My MVP is I will say, because she was fucking fierce is the tattooed woman.
It has
despite
to be.
her easy defeat at the end. I still think she was
Well,
very good.
the reason that it's disappointing that she was defeated so easy is because she's such a good character.
Yeah, yeah. And my LVP might be that guy that Enki. He's the one that raped her, and then because she wants revenge on him, and so
She
then,
Wants Revenge. That's a band.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did they give him a 5-finger death punch?
I saw them open for Placebo once.
Placebo.
Yeah.
Oh. Are they pro-life?
Placebo?
Yeah. Do they give fake pills to people and tell them that they're the actual thing?
God. No. I don't believe so. They always have the goods, Placebo.
they hand out pills at the concert. They're like, 9,000 of these aren't the real thing, but one of them is.
Handing out Special K, baby.
Not really, though. It's like fake.
No, but that's one of their classic songs. Henry, very fun doing these Lone Wolf and Cub movies. In a week when the podcast could have seemed extra meaningless and shitty to me, these Lone Wolf and Cub movies, thanks to John Evan Bair, were engaging, made it worth it. I might have lost my mind a little bit this week if we were covering like Species 3 and 4. Or like American Pie Presents The Book of Love or something.
I think because these things are like a total escape to a completely different thing that we don't watch every day. We don't see this. So it's like a complete trip to get away.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
I haven't like zoned out during these movies.
I haven't either, which I was very worried about. I'll be honest. When we first started these, I thought maybe that would be a problem for me.
Same.
But it's not happened really. I'm interested in them, even when I'm not into a certain storyline, or I'm still very interested in these films.
That's right, baby. And so exciting stuff. Next week we'll do Part 5, 1973's Lone Wolf and Cub, Baby Cart in the Land of Demons.
Demons.
And Part 6, 1974's Lone Wolf and Cub, White Heaven in Hell.
Yeah, that'll wrap it up.
That'll wrap it up.